My name is Lashana Pollander, and I'm an 8th grade math resource teacher at Lamar High School in Lamar, Arkansas. Today, I am going to discuss a math lesson on constructing and solving two-step equations from word problems. In order for the student to be able to do the lesson's goal, they do need to understand how to identify the parts of the equation and how to use their inverse operations. Inverse operations and parts of the equations are something that I've worked on several times, so this lesson should be fairly easy in that the new material is not as overwhelming since they do have a great understanding of the parts of the equation and their inverse operations. Now, my lesson model is going to be kind of a quick review and then a I do, we do, you do type model, so more of a gradual release. In my review, I do like to use flashcards. I feel like they are a quick, efficient, and easy way to make sure the students do understand the material. Now, as I go through the flashcards, if I notice they got the cards really quickly doing them this way, I will turn them around, maybe give them the definition and see if they can give me the word. So, quick, easy way to review to make sure they do have that understanding of their essential vocabulary. Now, this is for objective 1, the parts of the equation. If I'm going to do inverse operations, I try to use like a little game sometimes. Students love to use their individual little whiteboards and expo markers. This is a great way for them to have fun while reviewing. If they get to use this marker, they can show me what they learn. They have thought it's fun, and then the information kind of seems to stick a little bit easier. Now, after I go over my quick review, I do an introduction for the lesson, showing them the new material that we're going to learn for the day. Today, they are going to be learning about the equation in standard form. So mx plus b equals y. The equation is built off of the parts of the equation. So they know all the parts of the equation. This lesson just teaches them how to put those parts into the actual standard form. After I have done the introduction, I will go into modeling the lesson. When I model the lesson, I like to use my whiteboard or my smart TV with a smart notebook app open. Now, in this part of the lesson, since it's more I do, I like to explain my thoughts to them, let them know the thought process kind of that I go through, and give them an idea of how they need to approach solving the problem. I try to make this part of the lesson fairly quick. I want them to have that understanding, but if I take too long explaining or if I get too detailed, the students tend to get bored because they do have a short attention span. So I try to make this efficient and as quick as possible. Once we get past the I do part, I like to go into a we do or a guided practice. Again, I like to use my smart TV. It has the color coding capabilities that I like to use and kind of gives them an easy way to see my thoughts. In the we do part, I will give them a worksheet with those same problems that I have on my smart board, and we will, as we do suggest, do this part together. I will read it, go through the steps, the color coding, all of that stuff. I also like to give them a guide card to use. This is just a quick, easy thing that can stay sitting in front of their table so they can quickly look down and see if they're on the right track. Since this is the new information, this is not stuck in their head just yet. So this card is a very quick, easy reminder they can use. While we're doing the we do, I try to ask as many questions as possible, especially around information that they already know. Maybe what is the inverse operation if you are adding 5, things like that. So getting those prompts and asking those questions to help them along the way without doing the work for them. Now, in the guided practice part, if I notice they are really struggling or start to become frustrated, I will stop the lesson. If I feel like it's able to recover, then I may just start back over, maybe quickly go over the flashcards again. Again, this is why I love them. They're always handy. The student can go over them themselves, or I can quickly just say, all right, let's go back over these parts real quick. So, love having my flashcards. If the flashcards or going back over the inverse operation match game does not work, then I will stop the lesson altogether for the day and then try again the next day. There's no point in trying when the student becomes frustrated. At that point, I will assess if there's a different strategy or approach that I can use to help convey the information. If they do succeed in doing the we do part together and I feel like they are ready for their independent practice, then I will go on and give them a sheet with 3 problems on there. Once they're handed this independent practice, I try to stay out of helping them as much as possible, because I do use this as my summative assessment. I will give them a few prompts as we go, but I will not give more than maybe 1 or 2 prompts. If they can't get it in 1 or 2 prompts, then I do know I need to redo the lesson the next day and try again. However, if they finish the independent practice, I do move on to my closure. My closure is more of a conversation style for this lesson. Asking the general questions, say, hey, can you walk me through how I would solve this problem? Give them a chance to ask questions also. We also go over their independent practice together at the same time. I grade it with them. That way they get that instant feedback. And then we know if we need to do the lesson again, or if maybe there's just 1 or 2 minor problems that just us talking through it could fix. So after we do our introduction, I do some modeling, we do some things together, we do an independent practice and a closure. If I feel like they have mastered it, then we move on to the next lesson for the day. I collect data as I go along. I have a data collection sheet that I like to use. It has the goal and the objectives. I like to do at least 3 trials to make sure they do have an understanding. If they successfully complete all of those, then I can use this information for IEP data goals, and we can move on to our next subject. Now, some of the benefits of this lesson is I do use a lot of hands-on things. We get to use our flashcards, we do our matching game, we have the little color-coded guide card that we like to use. The color coding really helps the students. It allows them to cut through all of the extra information, especially for my student who struggles with reading. So if they can just go and say, all right, I can match these colors and I can go on, then this seems to help out a lot. All right, that is the end of the lesson. Thank you.